Croeso i'r sesiwn Arddangos. Welcome to the showcase session for the intergenerational projects that have been funded across West Wales. Felly, newn ni gychwyn gyda project Ieuenctid Tysil. We will start with Tysil Youth and the Tysil Youth project.
Steve Parkin yw enw fi, a fi'n reolwr y prosiect Ieuenctid yn Llandysil. Dyfodol disgler Brighter Futures, so ni'n trio weithio gyda'r henoed a pobl sy'n teimlo bach yn isolated yn y chymuned, a helpu nhw mas. Mae wedi bod yn amser galed iddyn ni gyd dros y flwyddyn a hanner wetha. Oedd rhaid i ni ailnewid y llawer o pethau oedd mewn y plan i ddechrau. So ni wedi bod yn gwneud llawer o pethau tu fas nawr, really, achos yn bod yn saff. Ni wedi dod â llawer o hapus i'r pobl yma.
So we're pulling out the lettuces that have bolted, so they're no good now because they've got a bit bitter. So we're just helping out because it's quite a lot for them to keep on top of. All the residents of Glasgow, so they're all elderly or they have health conditions, and so they really appreciate a bit of extra help. So we just do what we can when we can.
Beth ni'n eisiau cael mas o prosiect yw i helpu y henoed a pobl sy'n teimlo isolated, yn byw ar eu hunan, yn stryglo â pethau, a dod â chymuned gyda gilydd, gyda pobl ifanc, gyda pobl henoed, a jyst yn trio dod nôl yn teimliadau'r chymuned.
Ni jyst mynd i roi rhain i Joyce nawr, a mae'n lyflu helpu pobl hyn.
Thank you very, very much.
Mae fe'n rili neis i helpu pobl o fewn cymuned ni sy'n henach na fi, sy'n ffili wneud pethau fel fi chi'n wneud. Mae good grŵp o pobl, a mae fe'n rili neis i wneud ydyn gilydd, a mae fe'n jyst yn rhywbeth gwahanol i wneud.
So this was like a building site, and it was just a pile of rubble with a big cage all around it, and it was like that for nearly 3 years. And since the youth centre's come up and helped, as you can see, I've got somewhere to sit, and it's absolutely beautiful. I sit till late in the evening. I watch Jupiter rise. No, I can't thank them enough.
Steve, I'd like to invite you in to say a few words.
At the time of writing this report, Di, the head gardener, who was 97, incredible man, he passed sadly a month or so ago. But it was nice to know that he was still actively gardening right up until his last few weeks, really. And it's inspired all the other residents are going to keep the garden going in Di's memory. So that was a nice, a positive to come. The overall response and support from the community has been overwhelming and has established a real legacy to come off the back of the intergenerational project that will continue to provide benefits and create a more cohesive and caring community for years to come. It just spurred us on to feel like, we need to continue doing this work and how much it meant to them. So, yeah.
Not so much a question, Steve, just really thank you so much. It's not easy going first in our regional thing. We've got a lot of these to go. And if they're all as good as yours, we'll all be in bits by the end, little puddles on the floor, because it's been so inspirational. To hear those young people and the elderly lady, what a difference it's made to them. It's small things making that huge difference. So I'd just like to thank you for going first, but really such an inspirational first project.
Next up, we'll hear a little more about Garedi's Care to Connect project.
My name's Anne-Marie Carty, and my job is to work in quite remote rural communities in Ceredigion where there might be a risk of services might not come this far, or they might not get winter food deliveries because the roads are so icy. So my job is to work with communities to help them get to know each other in whatever way works for them. So I've been working in Pontrhy de Groes and Pontefanach, Devil's Bridge, and both communities have landed on the idea of some kind of film project as a way of bringing people together, getting involved, doing something that's fun and interesting. And really importantly, in one of the villages, there's lots of new people have moved in and they really want to get to know the local residents, and the local residents would really like to get to know them. So the communities have chosen to use film in one way or another to be the main backbone of these projects. And film's really valuable because people work together on it, they produce it together, they have something at the end that's really important, and then that film is of value for decades and decades afterwards.
Dwi wedi bod yma dros 40 years now. This yma, a ges I sioc I weld yr ardal mor prydfaith, ond mor wag o cymdeithasu.
Does dim pawb eisiau mynd i'r tŷ tafarn. Ni'n teimlo I gael ffilm o hanes yr ardal. Bydd llawer iawn o'r bobl a diddordeb ynddo fe, a byddwn ni drwy hynny yn denu nhw mewn. Gan fawr o gobeithio, byddan nhw wedi cymryd diddordeb yn hanes yr ardal a gwybod ychydig am yr ardal lle maen nhw'n byw nawr.
Bydd yn hyfryd creu rhywbeth sy'n tynnu bobl at y gilydd I siarad ac I cydweithio I wneud fwyaf o'r ardal.
Do you feel like you've learned very much even at this early stage in the project?
Definitely. Well, I've learned how to use a video camera. I've never used one before.
Yeah, and like learning like about more within the local area, like places which I didn't know were there before. I've now discovered those and been telling other people about it as well.
Be fi'n edrych mlaen yw cael bobl mas o'r tai eto I gael ddod i'r neuadd, achos mae lot o bobl wedi symud mewn i'r pentre yma yn y 2 flynedd diwetha yma. So nhw wedi gweld, dwi'n nabod yr ardal, so fi'n credu bydd yn bwysig bod rheini'n gallu dod I gael adnabod yr ardal, adnabod y ffordd o fyw oedd gyda ni, a sŵt ni'n byw nawr, ynddo fe.
So from the point of view of community engagement, which is something I've been working in for decades and I feel it's really important, I feel very passionate about it, it's so rewarding to see people really enjoying coming together, planning events, working out for themselves how to make things work. My job is just to facilitate. I don't tell anybody what to do, I just help people, give them space to think of things that they'd like to see happen. And it's so exciting, and it's such an early stage in this project, and already I feel like we've made huge strides together. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next period of time when the communities really get a chance to get going.
Thank you. Another example of how getting people together around interests and topics is just so important and has such an impact.
Once lockdown eased, I was able to go and have more face-to-face meetings with people outside, and that is the key. One of the big learning things from every project I do, but particularly this one after lockdown, is that to be there in person makes all the difference to building relationships, trusting relationships, and to become really integrated as part of the community so that you can turn up at any time and nobody bats an eyelid. And people expect you to support them with things. We had a scanning day, which was suggested by Ian Williams from the local community council, which was just brilliant, a couple of Saturdays ago, where everybody brought their old photographs, and we had tea and cake, and we did interviews outside that you saw in the video, and people were just able to come together and chat, and that was really, really great. We enjoyed that a lot, and I think we had something like 35 people come, but spend quite a number of hours there, and we had 11 volunteers for that. So that was really interesting. I'd never had that experience before because we hadn't had lockdowns. So I was really able to contrast. And I reckon that you get 4 times as much work done face to face as you do remotely.
Some really excellent points there to consider and that you've learned from during the course of the project. So thank you. Some really important reflections would be really useful to pick up there, Anne-Marie. Sarah.
I'm really pleased that this piece of work has happened. It just feels that this is a combination in, you know, different agencies working together, having those discussions, and then the one that could take it forward to actually be able to take it forward, and a really good piece of work can come out of that. And by you doing this piece of work, we know that that's happening. So thank you.
Felly newn ni symud mlaen I rei Ceredigion, last but not least. So we'll kick off, newn ni gychwyn gyda'r fideo.
My name is Pod Clare. I'm a community artist, and I'm the artist who coordinated getting this mural together. I did the drawings, came up with the concept of the child one end, the granny the other end, and the bit in the middle where the things overlap.
So my name is Steph Glover. I've been the project coordinator for our Ray Play project. So the aim was to bring communities together, bring different generations together, so that old and young can learn from one another, and to improve social connectedness, and also to maximise the potential use of digital technologies as well.
Well, we sent out lots of questionnaires to all sorts of people in the community, and we also talked to groups. What the older people and the younger people, what did you play when you were young? And we got many, many responses, and we coordinated them, and so we put the ones, the most popular ones for the children and the older people. And there was quite a big area of overlap, which we've put in the middle, and they're all, funnily enough, outdoor things and pretty much free, like playing on the beach or climbing a tree. Everybody who's participated in this project has really, really enjoyed it. They've enjoyed talking about the play things. They've enjoyed the people who transferred the drawings onto the tile. We were able to do that by sending out packs, and they did them in glaze, which were then fired. Apart from the actual making of it, the people talk a lot as they walk past here, intergenerationally, you know, older people talking about what they did, and the younger people are interested in how different it was, and they talk about which is their favourite, and enjoy looking for little toys and little hidden things inside this mosaic, like dice and little ladybirds and things like that.
So we've got a newspaper as well. So we've got a printed version of that and a digital version that contains all the stories, the interviews, all the artwork, all these amazing people that have been part of our project, and again encourage those conversations again on play, just trying to get the community and the different generations to learn from one another, build on those relationships, improve social connectedness, and just encourage a bit of kindness, really.
When I walk past, I feel proud because it's a joint effort, not just with the dementia group, but the other groups that participate here. And I think we've all done a really good job, obviously with the help of Pod, who's been brilliant. But she's encouraged us and just said, just get on with it. She's, you know, doesn't tell you off. She just helps you to get on and choose your colours. There's no particular pattern or anything. She just tells you what to do. It's lovely.
Fantastic, great. Jill, would you like to say a few more words about the project?
The idea behind the project was to bring generations together with the theme of play. So ask older people to share their play memories with younger people who would share how they play today. And that was all going to be based around physically bringing people together face to face. And obviously with lockdowns, we had to adapt the project. Steph used audio and video recording. As a result of COVID, she then developed an online questionnaire that was designed for adults to interview children and children to interview adults. Then we had the shared art project, which was collecting all of those memories from all the generations and making it into a visual community art project. And then Steph has used the format of a newspaper, a full-size newspaper with an interactive pull-out in the middle to collect all of the findings from the project. So this was just before lockdown. So this was our craft and chat group, and this was face-to-face interviews that Steph was able to carry out. The age range of that group is from the 20s to the 90s. The interactive bilingual online questionnaire that Steph created and put together. So that's still live. There's still links on the Ray Ceredigion website, and we are still getting people filling that in. So that's the private Facebook group that Steph put together, which so people could share photos and memories and ideas about play on that platform, which is still going. This is some of the content on the Facebook group. People showing pictures their children have done, diaries that they found that they wrote as children, all about play. That's a picture that a family found that their grandfather had done of his own childhood in the 1940s, 1950s in Liverpool. That's his dad coming back from the docks, and that's his mum from working on the docks. That's his mum in the doorway, and Terry and his brother are playing in the street. And then we were able to have a lovely day on the 8th of July when we had an outdoor opening, official opening of the mosaic. So Pod came along to that. The Deputy Mayor, Daryl, came along to help open it. That's Daryl on the right. Members of the different groups who've been involved. It was a school day, so we did lack a bit in the younger elements coming together, but we did teas and coffees. About 40 people were there. That's the Dummoney group who were there to see the mosaic opened. It was Jenny who leads our dementia group. It was her 70th birthday on that day, so we made it a bit of a celebration for Jenny as well. And Steph's going to do a little a viewing of the newspaper now.
So we had all these lovely stories and experiences and artwork, interviews, all from this project, and we thought, well, we've got nowhere to put them. They're just going to almost be lost once the project's over. So we came up with this idea of putting it into newspaper, which then, you know, can celebrate the project and everybody involved, and also acts as a continuation for the project. So really, we wanted to aim it at all ages for this, and just to encourage those intergenerational conversations again, and act as a sort of legacy for the project. And a newspaper as well is really nice. It's got that nostalgic quality, especially a physical one. So people can sit down and it's something, get a cup of tea and have a biscuit and chat around. And so that was something we felt was important for everyone to enjoy, really, and act as that legacy for the project.
Thank you both. Another fantastic example, isn't it, of how a project has brought so many people together. Obviously something that touched people and people really benefited from as we came out of the various lockdowns. Wonderful engagements. Plenty of learning there, and thank you so much for your contributions. I think it's touched all of us, you know, the way all three of you as project leads have just adapted, rethought through your delivery plans because of COVID to make sure we still manage to deliver on these projects. I think you've all three of you have tried different ways and successfully tried different approaches that I think we could all learn from. Cymerwch ofal, take care, and hopefully most of you can join us for some of our next sessions as well. Gobeithio allwch chi ymuno dyn ni ar gyfer y sesiynau nesaf. Felly diolch I chi gyd am bod yn rhan. Thank you all for being part of it, and goodbye.